You ever have a moment that grabs you by the collar, shakes your whole sense of identity, and whispers in your ear, "Hey, this right here, this is your shot. Your moment to do something that actually matters." That morning outside Rose Hill Academy, that was mine. Yeah, the same Rose Hill with the perfect lawns, the grand stone arches, and ironically, my company's name engraved right on the front gate. It was supposed to be a normal day. Just another routine meeting about expansion, new satellite campuses, strategic partnerships, the kind of stuff that used to fire me up. But not that day. That morning, everything felt muted, like the world was speaking in a whisper, and I was the only one who could hear it. Maybe it was the quiet on campus. Maybe it was the emptiness I'd been carrying for months, but something didn't sit right in my chest. A kind of restless ache I couldn't explain. I was just about to head back to the car when I heard it. A sound that didn't belong in that postcard-perfect scene. A soft, broken cry. Not a tantrum. Not some kid fussing over a toy. This was raw, fragile, and desperate. Like someone's heart had just shattered in public. I followed the sound to the front gate. And there she was. A little girl. Couldn't have been more than 6. Blonde hair tied in a loose braid that was coming undone. Red sweater too big for her shoulders. A pair of enormous red glasses slipping down her nose. And a blue backpack so oversized it looked like it might tip her over. She was wiping her face furiously, trying to pull herself together. The way only a kid who's had to grow up too fast knows how. You could see it all over her. That brave front, it was about one breath away from crumbling. I crouched down beside her. "Hey," I said gently. "You okay?" She looked up, startled, eyes wide behind those thick lenses. And then, in a voice so small it nearly broke me, she whispered, "They won't let me in. Because I'm poor." You ever have a moment hit you so hard you forget to breathe? That was it. That sentence, coming from her, wasn't just a confession. It was an accusation. A 6-year-old girl calling out the system with nothing but her truth. She told me her name was Lucy Bennett. Her mom couldn't pay tuition this month, and the school told her she couldn't come back until it was settled. She didn't even cry when she said it. She just looked down, ashamed, like she had done something wrong. But the shame? That didn't belong to her. It belonged to me. To every policy I'd ever signed, every speech I'd ever given about access and opportunity, I'd spent years designing systems meant to help kids exactly like her. Built scholarship funds, wrote financial aid protocols. Hell, I put my name on the damn gate because I believed in the dream. And yet, here she was, standing outside alone, told she didn't belong because her mother came up short on a payment. That's when it hit me. None of it mattered. Not the paperwork, not the plaques, not the press releases. If a child like Lucy was standing outside the school gates, we'd already failed. I stood up, took a deep breath, then held out my hand. "Come on," I said. "We're going to talk to someone. No one gets turned away from school. Not today. Not ever." She hesitated, just for a second, like she was checking to see if this was real. Then she reached out and slipped her tiny hand into mine. That moment, that's the one I'll remember until the day I die. We walked through the front doors together. The front desk was staffed by a secretary who looked like she'd seen a ghost when I walked in. "Mr. Stone?" She stammered. Yeah, she knew exactly who I was. I nodded. "I need to speak to the principal now." While we waited, Lucy clutched her backpack like a shield. I knelt beside her. "You did nothing wrong," I said. "Don't let anyone make you feel like you don't belong here, because you do." When the principal finally came out, he put on his polished smile, the kind you practice in a mirror. "Mr. Stone, what brings you—" I cut him off. "This is Lucy Bennett," I said. "She was turned away this morning because her tuition is late." "That's not how we do things." "Not at my school." He started rambling. Policies, payment plans, late fees, protocols. I raised a hand. "Save it. I wrote those policies." And I'm telling you, you don't leave a 6-year-old sobbing outside because of overdue paperwork. That's not opportunity. That's cruelty wrapped in red tape. He shut up. Lucy was re-enrolled before the meeting ended, but I wasn't finished. I asked for a list. Every student on the verge of expulsion due to unpaid tuition, kids like Lucy. And before I even left the building, I created an emergency relief fund. Quietly, anonymously. No name, no credit, no ceremony. Just results. If I could help it, no child would ever cry at that gate again. But that wasn't the end, not even close. Later that afternoon, I sat alone in my glass-walled office. City skyline stretching out like a monument to everything I'd built. And yet all I could think about was Lucy. Her voice. Her courage. Her pain. On a hunch, I pulled a few strings. Got her mother's number. I called. She picked up after 2 rings. Her voice was tired, cautious, almost embarrassed. I'm sorry, she said quickly. I didn't know they'd turn her away. I was working. I didn't know. She kept apologizing, as if being poor was a moral failure, as if she had to earn the right to exist. I told her what had happened, what I'd done, that Lucy was back in school, and she never should have been denied in the first place. Then I asked if we could meet. The next day she came to the school. Her name was Anna Bennett. She wore jeans and a faded blouse. Her grocery store name tag still clipped on, hair pulled back. No makeup, no excuses.
She walked in with the same hesitation I saw in Lucy.
But her eyes, they were fierce. The kind of eyes that have seen too much to be fooled by charity. We sat. I explained everything. The fund, the tuition, the reason. She listened, half skeptical, half scared to believe it was real. You did all this? For Lucy? She asked. I shook my head. For kids like her, I said.
But yes.
She was the wake-up call I didn't know I needed. She told me about her life. 2 jobs, no weekends, no savings. Just grit. And a burning hope that Lucy might have more than she did. She didn't want pity. She didn't want favors. She just wanted a chance. You're not failing her, I told her. The system is. She almost smiled. But then she said something that stuck with me. No one's ever helped us. Not without wanting something back. And I looked her in the eye and said, I don't want anything from you. Maybe just the chance to see where this goes. She nodded, and that was the beginning of something I never saw coming. After that day, I started finding excuses to stop by. A site inspection, a drop-in visit, a random hallway walk. The truth? I just wanted to see Lucy and Anna again. To make sure Lucy was still smiling. To make sure Anna still knew someone saw her, really saw her. Lucy lit up every time I came. She'd grab my hand, drag me to her classroom, show me her latest drawings. She was bright, curious, a natural storyteller. She once handed me a crayon picture of us both standing by the school gate. She'd titled it, My First Real Day. That picture still sits framed on my desk. Anna and I began to talk more. Small things at first. Books, work, the chaos of parent-teacher nights. But over time, those talks got deeper. She started working part-time in the school library. Said it helped her be closer to Lucy. She brought warmth into that space, organized books, decorated walls, hummed while she worked. One day, I walked in and found her on a ladder, arranging the children's section. She was humming some old song, the kind you only remember when you're at peace. She looked down and smiled, and in that moment, something shifted in me. We sat on the floor afterwards, surrounded by books, talked about parenting, about pain, about dreams we bury when life gets too heavy. I told her about my own mom, how she cleaned houses and made my lunch at 4 a.m. before double shifts. I told her about my dad, who worked 3 jobs, but never stopped whistling on the porch. She listened. Really listened. Not like someone waiting to respond. Like someone making room for my story inside her heart. There were lighter moments, too. Lunches in the school cafeteria. Lucy trying to trade me carrot sticks for cookies. Community garden walks, where Anna teased me for not knowing what kale looked like. I started giving them rides home sometimes when Anna's shift ran late. Lucy would fall asleep in the back seat, arms wrapped around her backpack like it held treasure. Anna would sit in the passenger seat, watching the city lights. She'd thank me softly. And I'd say, you already gave me more than I ever expected. Because it was true. They didn't just make me feel useful. They made me feel human again. One Saturday, I took them out of the city. To this quiet little lake I'd bought years ago, thinking I might build a retreat there someday. That day, Lucy chased butterflies through tall grass while Anna and I sat under the shade of an old willow tree. I looked at her, her hair caught in the breeze, her eyes soft with calm. And I said, I want to build a home here, not just for me. For us, if you want that. She didn't answer right away. Didn't need to. She just reached over and slid her hand into mine. Fingers tangled like they'd always belonged. No dramatic music. No big speeches. Just a quiet, steady promise. We held a small gathering in the school courtyard to celebrate Lucy's progress. She wore a simple white dress. Spun in circles until she was dizzy with joy. Paper flowers in her hair. Laughter in the air. Anna stood nearby, watching her with eyes full of tears, not from sorrow, but from relief, from witnessing a world finally giving something back. I stood beside them, wondering how I ever thought my life was complete before this. Anna told me one day, quietly, that she'd always wanted to be a teacher. She'd put that dream away long ago, buried under rent, groceries and second shifts, so I paid her tuition. No ceremony, no catch. Not as a favor. As an investment. She cried when the acceptance letter came. Then she rolled up her sleeves and started studying every night after Lucy went to bed. I watched them grow together. Lucy now in the top of her class. Anna glowing with purpose, walking into lectures with her head held high. The house by the lake came to life. Room by room. Wall by wall. Lucy painted rainbows in the hallway. Anna picked curtains with sunflowers. I planted a garden I didn't know how to take care of. We had our rituals. Dinner by candlelight, phones off, books before bed, stories told from memory, laughter that made the walls warm. Some nights I'd sit with Anna under a blanket, fire crackling nearby, Lucy asleep upstairs, and I'd think, it all started with one moment. One child, one gate. You know, I used to think legacy was about buildings, logos, portfolios. Now, I think it's about who you become for someone else. It's about showing up, letting yourself be changed, letting love rewrite your plans. I didn't rescue Lucy or Anna. They saved me. They reminded me that real wealth isn't measured in numbers. It's measured in connection, in courage, in the simple act of caring when it's easier not to. So let me ask you, what would you have done? What do we do when the system turns its back on those who need it most? Do we look away? Or do we reach out? Drop your thoughts below, because this isn't just my story anymore. It's a conversation we all need to have. The gate isn't just at a school. It's at the edge of every life waiting to be seen, and someone like Lucy might be standing there right now,